Coach, you lock up home ice in round one. Are you proud of the way the guys came out this afternoon and there was no emotional letdown after clinching the playoff spot?
Yeah, you know what? It's you're always scared of that, but I saw their eyes today. You get to know your players, and they had fire in their eyes today. And I have a lot of respect for them coming out playing hard. And it's one of those games you're like, okay, you got to get it, but at the same time you don't want to get injured because you get so. But our players played hard, played really well. Came really close to get a shutout. Would have been the franchise record. We tied it, but we would have beaten it. I like the fact that up to now we're top 10 in goals against, and I think that was a huge thing that needed to change this year. And we told the players at the beginning that was the number one criteria to be a contender, to make playoffs. And the guys did it, and you hear it now. It's a culture now. It's habits. It's really a group that's on the same page. And very often, I'm going to say something, and before I say it, the players are saying it to themselves. And when that happens, you know that you've got something that's running. You never say on its own, but it really. I think the players and the leaders have not only bought into what we were doing, but they made it their own. So. It's a real solid performance tonight. Solid performance to get out of a tough adversity lately, and to win without some really big key players in our team, and other guys shining and coming up big. So I moved my lines, and I think it worked out. I think it looked really good. Pajot's line with Hoffman and Stone looked terrific. Same with Turris, Dingle, and MacArthur. Wow, MacArthur, what a player! I can't believe we didn't have him all year. So, anyways, we have him now. So, real happy about that.
You mentioned the different line combinations. Is there a chance we see the Pajot ones stay together for the postseason?
Could very well happen, yeah.
And finally, now that you know what the portrait looks like tomorrow, can you tell us who's going to be resting?
Right now we got to go back. We got option A, B, and C. We still need to discuss a few players, but there will be changes for sure, 100%. Condon will be in for sure, and we'll be resting quite a few guys. So.
Coach, une victoire à votre dernier match à domicile cette saison et vous assurer de l'avantage de la glace en série. Juste beaucoup de bonnes choses de votre équipe. Votre opinion sur le match de ce matin?
Bien, c'est sûr qu'on est très fiers. Ça fait 11 ans que l'équipe n'a pas eu un avantage de la glace. Je pense que le groupe est très fier d'avoir réussi ça. Moi, je suis très fier de voir comment ils sont sortis aujourd'hui. Ils n'ont pas été mous, on n'a pas été tout croche. C'est le contraire, on était très solide avec la rondelle et sans la rondelle. On n'a pas donné grand-chose à l'adversaire. Un peu comme au dernier match à Boston. Puis avec le line-up qu'on a, il nous manquait des gros éléments encore. On a vu certains joueurs là, avec la glace qu'ils ont eu récemment, ça commence vraiment à payer. Je pense à la défensive, là, les Clayson, les Harper, les Wideman, les Borowicki, ils ont vraiment pris du galon. Ça va nous aider. Ça va nous donner non seulement de la profondeur, mais de la profondeur de grande qualité. Ce qu'on va avoir besoin dans les séries. Puis si je regarde à l'avant, j'ai fait quelques changements pour certaines lignes, donc ça m'a donné certaines idées pour les séries qui vont s'en venir. Mais quand je vois MacArthur jouer comme ça, là, wow, quel joueur! C'est non seulement le fun de le voir avec nous, de le voir contribuer comme ça. C'est assez impressionnant. Quand je regarde l'équipe cette année, on voulait être dans les bons de la Ligue pour les buts contre. On voulait être dans 10 meilleurs. Puis jusqu'à maintenant, on l'est. Évidemment, il reste un match, mais c'était le critère numéro 1 pour faire les séries. C'était de descendre le nombre de buts contre. C'est ce qu'on a fait. Puis ensuite, le nombre de shutouts, c'est assez de valeur parce que si on avait ce shutout-là, on battait le record de la concession. On l'a égalé avec 10, mais on l'aurait battu. Puis comme j'ai dit, avantage de la glace, première fois 11 ans. Là, il y a beaucoup de belles histoires cette année dans notre équipe. Alors, je suis extrêmement fier de notre groupe.
Comme pour vous, l'autre côté, il leur manquait quelques joueurs clés, mais juste limiter une équipe comme les Rangers à moins de 20 tirs, est-ce que c'est un signe que la machine est bien clé?
Ben écoute, je pense que ce qu'on voit, c'est qu'on regarde les 2 dernières périodes contre Détroit ici, les 2 dernières périodes contre Boston, puis je pense le match en entier ici, là, ça fait quand même beaucoup de périodes où on ne donne pas grand-chose à l'adversaire, donc on a une équipe très dédiée à ce qu'on fait. Puis c'est la raison pour laquelle on est où ce qu'on est là. Donc je pense que c'est le critère numéro 1 pour le succès, c'est le nombre de buts contre. Puis je pense qu'on a démontré qu'on était capable de jouer avec les meilleures équipes dans ce sens-là.
Hockey goes up and down in waves, so after that 6-game winning streak, you guys weren't playing that well. Now in the final week, going into the playoffs, do you feel you've got that defensive game that you want as you head into the playoffs?
Yeah, you know what I think is we had injuries that some people knew and some people didn't during the tougher stretch. And it demanded way more from some players that weren't used to some of the roles that they had. And that adversity, that moment, those games in a row, what it gave them, we weren't winning, but it gave those guys the minutes they needed to be able to take more. And that's what we needed for the end right now, because Eric didn't play at the end, and Cease came back, but Meth still wasn't there, and without Smith, without Bobby, it demanded a lot from some guys, and I think that adversity has actually paid off. Now I think the group, everybody now, I think, has gotten what they need to be able to bring something very positive to the table for the playoffs. So what I like right now, luckily tomorrow no injuries, we could have all the players ready for playoffs for the first time of the year. And not only all our players, but the ones that replaced the ones that were there with a lot more experience that they would ever have gotten if those guys would have been there since day one. So I think get home ice advantage, great stories, but also create that quality depth at all positions. Right now, I think gives us a lot of tools and a lot of ammunition for the playoffs.
Are you still hoping then to have him a thought?
Yes.
He's the one that always seems to be there.
Yes. We're hopefully, whenever that first game is, if it's not the first game, it'll be probably the second game. But we're looking at right now, if we are lucky tomorrow and nothing happens to our players, everybody might be available.
As your Hopkins star line, is this something you had in mind?
Yes. I had that in mind before the 3 games, but I thought some of the stuff I didn't want to touch because we'd had like Pajot, Pai, and Hoff were terrific together. So I didn't want to take a chance to, mingle with something that was working. I was just trying to find something else. And obviously MacArthur not there, so it was different before. But I liked Pajot's line, but I also liked Turris's line with Zingle and MacArthur. So it just gave us 2 lines I thought that had a lot of speed and playmaking, and they were hard to play against. So that could be something I keep in mind. And Brass's line's been really good now, I think, for 4 or 5 games where they bring a lot of relentlessness to the game and crashing and paying the price, and they like playing together. It's evidence. I was happy they scored again tonight. With Burrows the other day, they scored 1. So I'd say every line has given us something big, and the pairings too. You know what? I think it's a lot of a pride thing, to be honest with you. I think you're proud to have accomplished that. I really believe that once you get to the playoffs, you're home. It's great. You're in front of your fans, and the minute you win 1 game, you at least get another one at home, and that's great. But for me, it's a home or not home. It's ice and boards, and I've lived both, and every game is it's not about being home or away. It's about winning it, and so for me, I've always said it, being home or not doesn't make that much of a difference. You got to pay the price just as much as home as you do on the road. But I think in terms of thanking our fans for being there all year, all that's been invested in the organization this year by our owner and what's been done by management, I think it's a great thank you by showing that we did something with the tools that we were given, and it's a payback, I think. So in that sense, it's positive. But every game starts back at 0. You're on the road or home. For me, it's there's no advantage in that respect.
Where are you resting?
We have to go back and decide on some guys now. We have Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. So right now, I know it's not Plan A. So I know there's going to be changes for sure. But between Plan B and Plan C, we need to talk a few times now.
If you do face Boston, I know it's hypothetical at this point, but does it mean much that beat them all 4 games this year?
Nope, seen that before. I've seen you win all year against a team, and you get the playoffs, you can't beat them, and I've seen the opposite, and you keep rolling. And so, for me, it's playoff start, and it's like I've said all year, every game is a new story. Period.
Do you get a mental boost, like the players?
I think the mental boost comes from the fact that we did what we did this year through adversity, and whoever we play. You can look at it always in 2 ways. Nobody wants to play Washington, and we were the same in Tampa a few years ago. They finished first; they were the top ones, and everybody's scared. And we won in 4. So, yeah, it's really about what you're going to do against who you're going to play, but it's going to be about you. So, I think we've gone through so much this year. The players have really matured, and I saw it again today. For us, it doesn't matter who, it doesn't matter where. We just can't wait till it starts.